from our last tale.
We've taken enough time. Snow is hurt, but these monsters cannot be allowed to stay. All of you must decide. Stay or return.
Ste'yn will look down at Snow. Let's get you into the wagon. We need to move.
And I'll stay here and fight to give them a better escape.
You also find a little safe.
Kegs usually have alcohol, and alcohol is flammable. I'm thinking of making a bomb here.
And as it reaches her, it bites at her.
So that'll be 20 damage altogether.
Don't you die, Kassie. And she will cast Care Glare at a 2nd level.
And then as she comes back around, she just swings with one sword and then the other sword and just cleaves this thing in two.
Guys, what are we doing here?
We're getting Snow to help.
Viola, get inside.
Step up with one foot and just kind of like throw herself into the cabin.
As you officially leave Undra and its territory behind. The wagon is hurrying away from this territory. You had already traveled probably an hour or two, so there would still be probably less time than it took initially, with poor Buttercup being your main steed. You're certainly moving quicker, so you can anticipate you'll get there sooner. But there is some time as you guys are traveling. Vaughn is up front, steering on the horses with one of the watchmen. The other watchman, this dark-skinned humanoid, he has short, curled hair. He's in what looks to be a kind of generic set of leather armor, and he has a brown cloak around him, held in place with this iron-looking sigil, this brooch, holding this cloak in place. He looks tired. He looks beat up. There's scratches on him. There's remnants of that black ooze on him that he is kind of half-heartedly wiping at, but is sort of giving up and figures, it doesn't seem to be hurting him particularly any more than maybe it did. It's just sitting there on him, and he kind of half-heartedly leans back and closes his eyes. Every now and then he's kind of eyeing you guys as if checking on you, and then letting his eyes kind of fall shut again.
During this time, I'm guessing we don't have enough time for long rest, but can we all say that we've at least gotten a short rest?
I would allow a short rest, depending on what you're doing while you're traveling.
Well, I'm going to be working on opening that safe with my thieves' tools.
Okay. Are you immediately working on that?
Yes.
Before you rest and ease yourself, let's have you attempt this. So you're looking at this box. It's a very, very simple looking box, but it's sturdy metal. There's is it a twisty lock? Whatever it is, your thieves' tools have the ability to attempt something with it. So if you're going to attempt to open this safe, you can roll using the thieves' tools for the proficiency it'll give.
But before he goes to open, hey, Snow, you have any energy in you to do a little song or anything like that for me?
Without looking up from his letter. Just, you got this, please check for traps first, and that'll be his inspiration.
And everyone in there, except Snow, roll me a perception check.
16.
That's a 16.
I got a dirty 20.
Dang. All right, cool.
How can you guys go?
2 16s and a 20. Dirty 20. Even as Snow is clearly trying to rest, but whatever he's writing, and he's a bard and poetry and writing is important to him, you can assume. Even as he looks at you for a moment, Beau, to address you, and then goes back to his letter, he's not looking... You just note he's not looking any better than he did. Just darkness, the darkened eyes, and that blackness still trying to fight and maintain itself, trailing like through his veins on his pale skin. But he goes back to his dedication to this letter.
So now I'm gonna roll for Thieves' Tools,
Okay.
which I am proficient at. So right off the bat, I've got a. Is it just the 19? Is that a dexterity thing, or is it just you add your proficiency to those?
I believe you add the proficiency.
Okay, so that's gonna be a 21 right off the bat.
The dex check.
Oh, it is a dex check? Oh, cool. 24 then.
So it's the dexterity, whatever that is, bonus plus the bonus of the proficiency of the tools?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember we did this once before and I couldn't remember
D20.
exactly.
Yeah, so he's got a 24.
Yeah, these tools are D20 plus dex mod plus proficiency bonus.
And
Beautiful.
since he was given it, he's
Assuming
just
you're
gonna go right ahead and use the bardic inspiration just because he felt inspired. And that's
Okay.
a 6, so that's gonna be 30.
Wow.
Ooh. If I fail it, I still have psionic dice.
Incredible.
Oh gosh.
This chest with this safe will get open.
I almost I'm gonna hold that for later. Okay. Yeah, you almost too easily are able to manipulate this lock on the safe, and the door slides open for you. What you see inside is a ledger.
And
10,000 platinum.
You're filthy rich.
I don't know if you could have carried 10,000 platinum.
Oh, that definitely would have been a problem earlier.
It wouldn't fit the 2x2.
No.
Yeah,
Comes
you see a ledger.
exploding out of it.
All right, I guess I was scared.
Roll me investigation.
Oh, okay, cool. It's a 13.
Okay. You see a ledger.
Can I roll psionic if I failed?
Sure.
All right.
You can use your scion on investigation?
Yeah, I'm proficient in that.
Okay. I'm just learning. The more I learn, the more I can make this super fun.
14.
A 14 with the
14
psionic
total.
dice.
Oh, well, in that case.
No, I mean like yeah. It adds to okay. Just making sure I knew. Okay.
So I still fail.
Well, I mean, you see a ledger.
Okay.
In fact, I'll even give you what that ledger has in it because I care about you.
Well, I mean,
Let me see here.
how
You can
much?
see.
Am I rolling investigation to see if I can read it or see if I like
Mm-mm.
what? Okay.
You seemed surprised that you only saw a ledger in there, so I allowed you an additional
okay.
investigation to see if there was something else.
Oh, okay. I was checking in there. I see.
Yeah,
Okay.
just like looking about. Just a
Okay.
ledger. But what you see in this ledger, I will share that page with you in roll 20. Give me one moment. And it's not terribly long either. It's only some pages, as if it were very specific to this wagon, maybe specific to this trip that the wagon had taken. What is everyone else doing as you are making your way back to the Peace District?
You said that one guard had a little like button thing holding his cloak together or whatever.
The brooch.
Did you say there was a symbol on it?
I hope I did, because there is.
Okay, I thought you did. I just wanted to double check. So Viola's kind of eyeing both of those guards that she hasn't seen before, trying to see if she just sees any identifying or has like recognizes them from anything. And she's definitely gonna take a look at that and see if she recognizes any like house symbols per se or anything like that. And she's also very nervously watching Snow and willing all of her non-magical power to keep him alive.
Okay. The symbol is easy enough to see. You see what appears to be a crescent moon that is split in half by an arrow. That is the symbol that is etched into the iron. Whether you recognize that are you trying to see if you recognize it? Okay, give me a history check.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. So you're not super familiar with the symbol itself, but you did see it on other people at the guardianship. You've not seen it so far on any one that you've met, say, during your testing or up in the barracks, but you've seen it on some people who were passing through the Peace District on the day the novices arrived, likely people who were wardens or guards even. It seems to be a sigil of the guardianship, the one that you are at. Ste'yn, anything you'd like to do?
Ste'yn's gonna sit or kneel down by Snow and just set her hand like gently on his shoulder, just sort of checking on him, making sure he's staying alive.
Unintended.
Oh, always intended.
100%
I
intended.
know.
And then I will ask one more question. As you guys are traveling, so Ste'yn, you have your hand on Snow as you're watching him. Where are the other two seated? It's a fairly spacious wagon, as you know.
I think Beau originally probably, because there's like a bench, right? Because he probably would have originally put the safe on the bench and then like knelt while he was working on it. So it's probably still there if he's still looking at it currently.
The one opposite Snow and Ste'yn?
Yeah, because it's not
Okay.
like they were in a corner, so he's off in the corner behind with his
The
back
other
to them.
corner?
But
The other corner.
yeah,
Okay. And Viola, where were you seated?
I'm guessing she just kind of got wherever she could when Ste'yn was kind of helping her guide her in, so I'm assuming she's sitting on the same bench that they were sitting on.
Okay. All right. So then, as you guys continue, the travel is relatively uneventful for the next, takes another hour or two to get back. So the shorter amount of time it ought to take to get from the Peace District to Undra. As you guys can feel the wagon slowing, and there's some hailing of guards approaching the gate. You hear, it's not a lot, it's quite late, but you do hear some sounds of greeting as your wagon re-enters the Peace District. The horses are stopped and your door opens. You see a familiar person hunched over, black cloak, black everything, covered in grime, head down until he has a moment to look up at you, is almost startled at the sight of you all looking relatively worse for wear. And behind him is another man. This one, he stands tall. He has chin-length red hair. His features feel soft, but his otherwise appearance feels gruff as he kind of pats the familiar Sazian on the shoulder. But his words are a little more harsh than the gesture. Move along. Come on. Let's get him out. Come on. What's going on in here? And to answer, Vaughn is now down from the cart and is explaining everything going down. This man is listening, his face becoming more and more confused and also tense as you're being helped down by Sazian one by one, and the other watchman is helping all of you.
so they're not taking
Cool.
us to go. Well, I thought we were going straight to the like church thing. Are we not taking that right there?
You can. They didn't know until you got back. There wasn't an opportunity to give a heads up. So they're being informed now as you're being helped down. There is a smaller, more town or city appropriate vehicle that's, as soon as you guys are out and the watchman can help Snow out, is being set up for you. In short order, you guys are being taken, if you are all going together, then you're being taken back through the streets of the Peace District. Buttercup is being taken from the little back carriage she was in. Sazian seems to take particular care as he's patting down her mane, and she looks very frightened, and she seems to calm a little bit under his touch as he guides her into the coach house, or into the stables rather. So you guys are taken back through the familiar streets, semi-familiar streets. It's kind of a relief to be home. But you are taken along a different path where there were building starting to reappear, and it becomes there aren't people, but more lively, as in there's things around you. It also starts, along the path you're on, it starts to become more sparse again. And you're taken down a road, and not far ahead of you, you see this large stone, kind of flat building. And as if anticipating you now, there are sconces lit, the gate is open, and there are two people standing up front in white robes hailing down your wagon. The watchman who was in the wagon with you guys initially is the one leading you here. Jumps down, bows to the two of them. He indicates to Snow. This one's hurt real bad, we think. You guys can do something, right? In front of you, the dwarf of the two. One is humanoid, a taller humanoid. The other one is very clearly a dwarf. He's stout. A kind of a strange dichotomy between his gruff appearance and then this very clean, soft-looking robe. He goes over to you, Snow. He looks over you, kind of frowning a little bit. He looks back over to the watchman. This one? The watchman nods. All right. And with a strength to match his musculature, and maybe not his height, he also lifts you, Snow.
Okay, here we go.
And before he goes inside, he looks at the three of you. Do you also need healing?
I'm not leaving his side. And Ste'yn is following as close as she can.
All right. He looks at the other two.
Well, I might eventually leave his side, but I would like to see where he's going first.
Viola's just gonna
Understandable.
immediately start following Ste'yn. She's not gonna ask.
And he looks at you, Snow. You are half cradled in his arms. You have very good friends.
Thanks, I'm coming too.
He kind of chuckles, brings you inside. Do you enter? There's an entry area past the first wall. It seems to be, where they might keep carts and horses, a general entry area. And then you're taken into a larger, what feels like a waiting hall. There are benches, everything is stone, but it all looks like very intricately carved. The entire place has a very decorative feel to it and very calming feel to it. It's in various shades of just grays and whites, some of the stones sparkling in the firelight, some of it just matte and stoic and strong, and gives a sense of peace and safety. He heads to the opposite side of the hall where there is another door, and he turns back to Ste'yn and Viola and Beau, and he says, I will have to ask you, just in case, that you wait here for now, and we'll make sure and report back to you when I know he's well.
How long will that take?
He looks down at you, Snow, kind of bobs his head a little, looks back at you. Shouldn't be long at all. It's very late, though. You should be sleeping.
Not after what we've been through. We're not sleeping yet.
Are you sure?
I kind of took a little nap on the carriage, so I think I'm all right for now.
I'm sure.
All right. Well, if you'll stay here, Yonai, who's my assistant, he'd be happy to fetch you something to soothe your nerves. Some tea, perhaps?
Sure, why not?
Excellent. I'll make sure you all have something. And then he goes out to the other... He goes out through the doorway. Snow, you're taken down a hall. You are brought into another room. This one is full of beds, some that are blocked by sheets, by hanging drapes. And even the drapes themselves have this richness to them. They're this shimmering white, and they're thick, as they can easily block view of any of the other beds or any visitors coming in. And he gently places you down on one of the cots available. There are not many of them. There's no more than 10 in that room. and he looks at you.
Are there other people in this room?
You're the only one. He steps back, kind of stretches his fingers a little bit, cracks his knuckles, and begins to hold his hands over you. Takes a steadying breath. And you're sitting there, unless you do otherwise. He holds his hands there for a solid 10, 15, 20 minutes of just quiet.
Snow's not waiting that long.
Okay.
Snow will wait like a few seconds to see if this is like a quick thing, and then after like after probably 10 seconds, like all right, this is gonna be a little while. Snow, did he place him like lying down, or is he like propped up on cushions, or how did he
had
place
you
him down?
Unless you moved, he had you laying down.
Okay, Snow sits up and he asks him, do you have any way of destroying or cleansing or imprisoning cursed items here? You, not necessarily specifically, but this temple, whatever.
Certainly. Why?
Fantastic, because I have one.
I know.
Yeah, so
And he holds his hand out.
we do one of those things. It's better if it's not touched, because it's a really dangerous cursed item.
And yet, here you are, holding it.
Well, not by choice. I didn't have a lot of options, so yeah. And Snow will go ahead and drop disguise self so that he looks normal.
Okay. And you drop this spell, and the inky darkness is gone. Your eyes are clear and bright. There still are little flecks of dried blood on either side of your eyes and on your
Oh, yeah,
hands.
the blood- The blood stains are real.
Doesn't disguise self only last for like an hour though?
That's it. Sometimes.
Oh, okay.
He- You guys, he's been waiting a month.
I planned this a long time ago. Is he still just waiting, or just holding his that?
He nods to what you're saying, but he still is offering his hand to take whatever this cursed object is.
Snow will remove it from where it is tied around his thigh and slide it off of his back and give it to him.
Okay. And you hand him this beautiful, ornate, weighty, both physical and mentally, gold crown with these little rubies encrusted into each of the little spires. And he observes it, turns it in his hand some. He kind of jolts a little bit for a moment, and then nods at
So
it.
it made one of my friends rapidly shift personalities. That was the big giveaway that it's probably really bad. So yeah, I would put that somewhere safe or destroy it. You can just do that. I don't know what you do.
We do
Who do you
many
serve,
things
by
here.
the way.
Me personally?
Yes.
Me, I happen to be a big fan of the god Unlo. Traveling, seeing many things. And he's done well by me.
That was the temple we were in.
That's it. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Sweet. Does Snow know much about Unlow? Possibly.
You can roll a history check. Roll a religion check. I'm sorry.
Even better.
She thought she had the one up. She was wrong.
But that's still just an 11.
Okay. Not much. You know a lot of what, the general idea of him.
What Ste'yn figured out about Unlow when we were in the temple earlier, did she share that to us? Because you did a religion check back on that. That's how we knew that it did travel and stuff like that. Did you give us any kind of insight on that, Ste'yn?
She was kind of stuck in a window, so probably not.
That's
Winnie the Grave.
She probably like ran through information in her head, but really wasn't thinking about sharing it at the time.
That makes sense. Oh, so there could be cross references between those things, and he gets even more knowledge.
Being a bard of lore, having done some traipsing and traveling yourself, what you've learned about him generally is he's very popular with those who are travelers, those who set out to move about and see the world and know things. And you would probably recognize his holy symbol if you saw it clearly, but you couldn't like trace it from memory,
Sure.
despite that it's a pretty simple one.
I don't know. That's cool. Nice guy.
I think so. Now this. Now I'm surprised you were holding on to it for so long and it hasn't affected you at all.
I don't like being affected by things.
I don't think any of us do, son.
That's fair.
Well, you rest. I imagine you had a disguise up for a reason. Unless you want to go talk to your friends, you're welcome to rest here.
Thank you, but I think I will go back to them. They've been very loyal, and I appreciate them a lot. So I'll go break the good news to them, I suppose, even though they're probably going to want to kill me. Can I ask you going to do with the crown though?
Certainly. I'm going to give this to our head watchman. I think he'll know best. I can feel already the call it seems to have, but luckily, I too don't like to be told what to do.
Right.
Do make sure you get some rest. Do make sure maybe have a little tea before you go. Something to calm you after this. Whatever it was you've been through.
It's been a lot. Last some number of days that remains unknown. So yeah, I'm gonna do that. Thank you. Have a wonderful evening. So long.
Have a good night. And you
And Snow
can make
will
your
go
way.
back to join his friends.
The three of you, while that interaction was going on, very shortly after Snow and the unnamed dwarf were in the other had left your sight, the other humanoid who was beside him was in the room with you, quickly through one door and very quickly back through with a tray that has 4 cups in it. They are these delicate little china cups on a metal tray. He comes over to where you are sitting, bows his head, and offers the teacups to you.
Viola, with great poise, will take one of the cups and kind of nod back at him. And then she's just going to start kind of pacing back and forth while she sips the tea.
I'm picturing this great poise while you're covered in fleshy bits because you had 2 of those things explode on you.
Pause that thought for just one moment for me. Give me 1 second.
Does this guy have prestidigitation or something and cleans us up?
Shh. Shush.
If we
I'm
could be so
definitely not
fortunate.
checking to see it. No, never mind. No, he doesn't have it.
But the
But wait,
tea,
but-
the tea is enhanced. It's enchanted tea.
Enchanted tea, and now you're clean. No, but you do make a
Cleanse tea. That's a great item.
cleanse tea. But he does make note that there is a bathing room off to the side as well if you needed to clean yourselves at all. But does everyone take tea?
Ste'yn doesn't.
Yeah, Beau wasn't about to either.
Are you?
He's afraid it's poison.
Thank you very
Sure.
much for your kindness. But I need
Quite
to.
good.
I need to pray instead.
Viola
And
is
Ste'yn will go off a
outgrowing-
little bit,
What?
kneel down, and
I feel like Viola
Just
will probably
hold her
finish the tray, so it's fine. You can just
Just-
set it down.
If you take the cup, if you don't take the cup, then they'll think I haven't done my job.
Okay, I'll take that.
Ste'yn will reach over and take a cup and just set it on the ground next to her.
Is there a plant nearby? Is there a plant nearby?
A plant? perception check. Let's see if I add this to the dungeon alchemist map.
I
Nearest
got a
While
nat
that's
one.
Nope, it's all stone. All the time.
There are no plants in the entire town.
Alright.
Can I
Whoever is
investigate?
going-
Oh, sorry.
or Viola set down her cup quickly and went to the bathroom to start what? Because I'm guessing Beau said something out loud or no?
That was just me visualizing this.
He
Never
offered,
mind.
though.
Then
At the
yeah, I guess if
Yeah.
he pointed it out, then Viola would like kind of look down and be like, "Oh yeah," and go excuse herself to the restroom to clean herself up.
And the way that he pointed, you walk through one of the doorways, and it's not so much a restroom as it is a proper, like, full-on bathing suite. This beautiful marbled room. There's various drapings along the wall, and set into the ground are these two large pools. But also, standing up are these small pedestals that have a rounded surface, and they seem to be glittering a bit. And he points over to one of them and says, "If you just need a quick clean, I know it's late. Feel free to just tap it. Just tap it. And you'll be good as new." That's. And he scratches his head a moment. "That's how it works, right? If you touch it and then clean. That was one of the easy ones. I think that should be one of the easy ones. Just touch it and it's clean. Cleaning stones, you know? Yeah,
Okay,
I'm going to let you
Viola's-
be now."
She's gonna walk over and just like look at it very confused and just like tap it really quickly.
hmm And you feel this magic coming over you. You feel as if you had managed a full necessary shower, and your armor is coming clean of dirt and grime and muck and junk, and you feel a lot better in an instant.
As she's examining her armor, she's gonna remember that little spot, and so she's gonna examine that area and see if the spot is still there.
It's very difficult to see on your own. It's like up all up on. You'd have to like.
Okay. Then when Viola's all clean, she's gonna go back out and ask if Ste'yn's praying. She'll probably ask Beau to look and see.
Well, I was gonna say, when Viola went off, he is going to take his tea, and while he's walking, because he also had some of the gunk get on him, so he's gonna go towards like wherever the adjacent one would be. But on his walk over, he's also going to appraise the cup.
Give me an investigation check.
Ooh, that's
We
better.
did have this
16.
conversation in the DMs. This should not surprise anybody.
16.
It's a very nice china cup. Beautiful. It's a beautiful, like a cream base design with this intricate filigree going across the lip of the cup and the base of the cup. The actual handle itself seems to be of a slightly different material, more marble-esque than this kind of porcelainy or this china ceramic body.
So does he understand how the stone things work then? He also heard, like, how it cleans
Yeah,
you?
it would be explained to you.
Alright, is there
General
a-
features of the bathing area.
So because of the description that it sounds like, it doesn't sound like there's actual water, so is there no drains anywhere in this area?
There is a pool. It's just Viola didn't need to take a full-on bath if she didn't want
Oh.
to.
So what he's going to do then is just dump the tea on him and then touch the stone real quick so that way it cleans it all up. And then he's gonna put the cup in his bag.
Okay. Sounds like a plan.
Okay. So I guess they would be probably coming out roughly about the same time if you were gonna ask that to Beau.
You and Viola?
Yeah. We're
Okay.
doing that basically in unison.
Yeah, that's
So Viola's gonna go up to Beau and be like, "Hey, you know that weird spot? Is it still there?
Your little fiendy friend.
Please tell me it's gone."
It's there.
So, good news and bad news. Good news is the option for a patron is still on the table. Bad news is so is the spot.
Good thing Ste'yn cannot hear this conversation. You missed out on a Beau slap right there.
She's just gonna start like absent-mindedly like rubbing where it was.
Okay.
Actually, she'd probably go back in and like tap the stone again harder and then come back out again and like point.
Still there.
So she's just gonna start pacing with a little bit of worry and just like rubbing it absent-mindedly.
Why don't you
Okay.
ask one of these, what do you guys call it? Like usher people or something like that? I don't know, these robe people. Why ask one of them if they could do like one of their weird circle-y chant things and just poof it.
Is there
You're
anybody
really
in
lucky
there
Ste'yn
anymore?
can't hear this.
He had left after you
I was
had
gonna
taken
say,
the
I
tea.
don't think there's anybody in there, so.
Could
But in your conversation in this time, you do hear footsteps approaching again, but rather than another one of these acolytes, you do see you see Snow walking in. His features, you immediately notice his features appear back to normal, except for some crusted blood still on him.
Viola's gonna immediately
Hello.
run over and like bear hug him, like pick him up off the ground a little bit, and we were so worried about you. I'm so glad you're okay.
I've been picked up so many times today. Wow. Hi.
So one more
I
time
feel
won't
much
matter.
better.
And then she'll put him back down.
Not at all. And he will hug her back very tightly. How about we go get drinks?
Before we do that, I want to see if someone here could take care of my little smudge guy.
oh, you aren't there for
That's a
that.
good idea.
But she's got a fiend on her shoulder.
Apparently, whatever
That's a
that
good
is.
idea.
So where's that guy that would fixed you up?
Not we should probably find someone else. I think he's busy right now. But I'm sure there's lots of people here. So let's just look. We'll find some.
Viola
We
will
just look
just
around.
poke her head through whatever door Snow came out of, and she'll just kind of holler and be like, "Hey, can anybody help me? There's like a little fiend thing on my shoulder."
He's gonna
That's one way to do it.
That's one way
Beau's
to
gonna
do it.
grab the bell that he for some reason have in his backpack and he's gonna start ringing it behind her.
Oh gosh.
I'm
Dead
sure we
girl
should
walking?
just walk around.
Dead girl walking. You do get notice. Certainly, once the bell starts ringing, both the quiet, awkward acolyte who was addressed as Yonai reappears, and then the dwarven gentleman also returns. His hands are folded in his robes. Yonai, when he walks in and when the dwarf enters, and he also quickly folds his hands in his robes as if that's the proper way to hold them. But the dwarf looks among you. You didn't have the tea, did you?
Drink the tea.
It was so good.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't
There
offered
is-
any.
I didn't offer you tea? I apologize. Would you like some tea?
No, I'd rather
Um,
something stronger. But first, we have a fiend, apparently. Not Viola,
Yes.
she's lovely, but... And he'll just, like, point to the little smudge.
He beckons down to you, Viola. Pats your shoulder. Thank you, darling. And he looks at your armor. His kind of bulbous nose is just getting closer. He's just looking, peering at it. He sits back. Would you mind terribly if I held on to this armor?
Only if I can get it back,
I mean,
unharmed and fiendless.
I would only return it to you unharmed and fiendless.
Okay, so she'll nod and she'll start taking off. I'm guessing she would just have to leave like the breastplate or whatever.
Whatever pieces, it would, yeah, the top of the armor.
So she would remove it and hand it over to him and just like give him a very serious look and kind of like,
It means a lot to you. Then I will treat it as if it were
Question.
my own. Answer.
did we get the dwarf's name?
No.
Never bothered to ask.
He was probably going to introduce himself at some point to you, Snow, but you were very quickly like, all right, here's the tea.
I wasn't
tea that I wasn't
sure if
offered.
it was said and I just missed it.
No,
So,
I'm trying
so
not
Snow
to
is
offer
going to
without.
ask. Sorry, what's your name? I'm Snow. Good to meet you.
Snow, a pleasure to meet you as
Thank you
well.
for your aid. Appreciated.
You were one of my fastest heals yet. My name is Aglin. And he hands his one arm is now carrying this large bit of armor, and the other shakes your hand in greeting. This will take some time. I'm sorry to leave you so abruptly, but I have to make sure that the lady receives her armor back unharmed and fiendless. Unharmed and fiendless. I'll make sure both are checked off of my list. I do highly recommend you return to your barracks and get some rest.
Thank you. And thank you for caring for a
Will do.
friend.
Of course. And I hope when I return this, I'll get a lovely story.
Oh, I have plenty.
He nods and
you.
bids you farewell, and he exits back into that hall. Yonai nods as well, and then nods to Ste'yn, and again to Viola, and then to Snow, and then to Beau, and back to Viola, and then goes behind Aglin.
All right,
Gonna be
you said you
very
wanted to get
dramatic
drinks.
about that.
What?
Yes.
Say again?
Oh, can you just confirm? You want to get drinks then?
Let's do it.
I think we can spare one drink.
Yeah. Well, how about you guys go on ahead? I'll meet you there, and yeah.
What are you going
Where
to
are
do
you
in
off
the
to?
meantime?
Instant insight!
Things. I'm gonna go do some things, and I'll be back.
Take care of yourself.
Right.
There's been enough near-death experiences for 1 day, 2 days, however many days it's been.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Okay, so the three of you are off to get drinks, is that what I'm understanding? Are you heading back to the Wild Pike?
Probably.
It would make sense. It's the
Yeah.
bar. It's the
Snow
place
will,
to be.
Snow will go find the person who he got free drinks from before.
Oh, before they completely
was
part
that?
ways. Before they completely part ways, he'll be like, if you want to keep communication, we could always link some minds up here.
I'm not opposed to that.
Stay.
As much as I respect you, I still do not want you in my head.
Just
Sounds
to, I
fine.
mean, just as a safe precaution, you know, in case something happens, then we can try to come help you.
Sure. Snow, you want in or just Viola?
Oh, no,
All
it's
right.
fine.
So he's gonna go ahead and conjure the little dice thing, and then where is it? Bionic Whispers. So this will last for 5 hours.
Good hit.
Or until like he decides to drop it, like just how to last a whole 5
Sure.
hours.
It's like, oh, this is getting a little too real.
Severs the link.
Yeah.
He severed the link.
Click.
And Beau is gonna head off in the direction where they last saw Sazian.
Okay. So Viola, Ste'yn, and Snow, you guys make your way back to the Wild Pike. The barkeep that Snow's player is definitely looking up, or definitely knows the name to, is
I'm ready. I know it.
are you? Oh, excellent, excellent. So he yeah, he's there. It's not overly crowded at the moment, but there are still it feels like it's always somebody there. So you guys are there, you'll get your drinks. Beau, you are heading down to the stables then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Does he find Sazian? Oh, what?
Yeah, you make your way back down to the stables. That's going to be, I mean, it's still a little bit of a trip, especially now that you are walking again. You have to sort of find your way as you're in a new, unfamiliar part of the Peace District, but it's not too difficult. You weren't too far off the path from where the Wild Pike was, and you guys essentially just parted ways, and you headed back south, whereas they headed back to the Wild Pike. So it is now quite late. You get to the stables, and if you look inside, you do see Sazian. He appears to be tidying something up or doing something or other.
Alright, so he's gonna go up to Sazian then. Is Sazian the only one that's present?
Give me a perception check.
11.
It appears so.
Can I roll a psionic dice if I failed that?
Sure.
It's gonna be +5, so 16 now.
It appears so.
Is that because of a pass or a fail? I just want to know because I only mark it off if I failed.
Oh, that's fair.
If I pass, I only mark it off for that.
Yeah. No, that's definitely a pass. And he definitely appears to be by himself.
Okay, cool. Sazian, what are you working on right now?
He was hunched over some pieces of equipment. So you actually recognize, well, maybe you do, maybe you don't. He seems to be kind of tidying up a saddle. It's covered in some black gunk, and he appears to be scrubbing at it. He pauses as you address him. He's still hunched over, but he turns to look in your general foot direction. It's cleaning.
Alright, so question for you first off. Can you look up? It's kind of, you keep staring down. Can you, like, you can look up at me.
As if it looks like it might be physically difficult, but he does look up at you, and you can very clearly see now the gray skin and the blood red eyes.
Alright, now I had a wonder since when we left. So, do you want to be working here? Why are you working here exactly? You don't seem treated very nicely. What's in this job for you?
It's a job.
Do you like this job?
Roll a persuasion.
It's gonna be 16.
Okay. His eyes drop again, but he looks back up at you. We don't always like our work. Sometimes it gives us a home.
Okay. And between these statements, I'm going to use it's a as a bonus action, I could regain 1 expended psionic energy dice thing. So I'm going to regain 1 of mine because I actually hit my 4 limit for the first time. So I'm going to do that.
Yes!
I'm going to do
it
that.
Can be done!
Because I realized I was like, wait a minute. No, okay, cool. So yeah, I get in life, you don't always get a job that you like, but would you be open to a job that you could very well probably like much more than this one?
I don't understand. I'm sorry.
Would you like a different job? Would you take a different job over this one?
I don't know. I might depend on what it is.
So, well, for starters, it might involve some travel, but you get to see the place, and it also, you're not going to be kicked around or whatever just because of what you are. So, working conditions, better. And it's not a guarantee you're going to stay. You might end up working in a warehouse. I don't know. It depends on where they need you. They're at least probably down at least 1 person right now, I'll tell you that.
I can't just leave here.
Yeah, you can. You can just hitch a ride with the next shipment wagon. Get yourself on over to the next city over.
I have an obligation here.
What do you mean?
It's a gift to be here, to have a home. I could be nowhere, but you haven't met him.
Met who?
Darmin. He's the stable master. My brother. He saved me. I can't go somewhere without him.
So you want to go to?
don't know. I don't know what you're offering.
I'm offering you a job. Well, technically, I would give you a letter of introduction and also tell the person that'll be hiring you the fact that I'm sending you over there, and then she would be the one hiring you. So that's who you'd be working for. But, I mean, I can get you the job.
Why are you doing this?
I mean, why not? I technically we have a working arrangement, her and I, so might as well help her out. And, I mean, you're not exactly treating nice here, so why not?
I don't think I can accept that.
Because you're brother, or because you don't want to leave?
I have a home here.
Yeah, your home is also a place where you get treated like trash. Like, I mean, is that really where you want to set up shop for the rest of your life?
That is what I would see anywhere I went.
Well, no, it's not. There's options.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I don't know how sure you are.
Oh, I'm very positive. So, in the fact it seems like you can't even stand up straight because of how they treat you here.
And as you say that, he stops scrubbing at the, kind of mindlessly at that point, scrubbing at the thing I said before. That the word is escaping me now.
The saddle. The saddle.
The saddle.
That-
I kept wanting to say the stable. The stable. The stable. He stops mindlessly scrubbing at the saddle. And he does straighten up. And it adds a whole half a foot to him. And yet there's still this really kind of pathetic air about him. It isn't how they treat me that makes me walk as I do. It's how I can survive.
How you survive. But they do, I mean, at the very least, Kamoogle doesn't treat you very well. The guy earlier seemed to be, I mean, maybe better than him, but, I mean, overall, you seem to be not exactly respected.
People like us aren't respected.
But you could have an employer that would.
You're insistent. Why?
Well, I mean, why would I? If I was in your position, I would move on. So I don't
How
fully
did you
understand.
meet this person?
Well, technically speaking, I kind of climbed in her window. But that's only technically speaking. It was an accident.
Did you need taking care of?
What?
Did you need to be taken care of?
Taken care of how?
You said this female offers a job?
Well, I mean, I've seen people that she has hired. So I know that she hires ferals. And they are treated nicely. So already right there, I can tell the difference.
He eyes you up and down. You do seem sure.
Yes.
And then he ducks down again. He has that same hunched look again. And he goes back to the mindless scrubbing of the saddle. If I can talk to Darmin.
Alright. You go talk to him when you can. Let me know. I'll send her a letter, send you off with a letter, and yeah, you just need to hitch a ride up to, I don't know the towns, the nearest big city. What would that be?
A large city would be Drenfeld.
Is that the nearest one that's like, yeah, hitch a ride up to Drenfeld, which, I mean, I imagine shipments come in here semi-regularly, so that should be able to work itself out.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Alright, cool. I might have mail, so I'm gonna go off, and you just let me know.
He nods his head, turns away from you, assuming that you've had enough of him, and he goes back to kneeling and scrubbing at the saddle. Are you making your way back to the Wild Pike with the others?
No, he wants to check his mailbox, and then he was gonna go back, so it's gonna be mailbox Pike.
Sure. You make your way back to the novice hut for checking if you have any mail, and you hear a voice in your head. You hear a few words coming from this maybe a little tired, otherwise seemingly somewhat chipper voice. And it just says, "Happy to report, I made it to Fandela. I don't see any tombstones, so congratulations!" And no word on the pack. Now, for my favor, and the message ends.
I get to respond to it though, right?
You will,
Oh, okay.
but that's where we're going to end tonight's session. Boy, that was fun!
I too have also waited a long time for that conversation since
I
earlier.
know. I know.
So
It's
Josh and I both got to fulfill a long-awaited thing.
I figured after a nice long combat, it's time for leaving breadcrumbs for the next 2 weeks of suffering. I also see Kassie trying to hold on for dear life to her camera.
All just went off for no reason. I have no idea why.
The computer?
The whole power to my whole house just went off. It's back on.
Oh no.
I was gonna say, like, yeah, I just lost all the power to my house, and, like, a fire started, and there's hail and thunder. But, like, guys, I'm back. We're playing.
I don't know if anything bad's going on in the house. I didn't go check anything. I just immediately went back to Discord on my phone. I had to figure out what Beau was saying.
Oh, that's fair. No, I appreciate you making your way back. Let's make sure you don't have too much to worry about over there. We're gonna say goodnight to everyone. Guys, that's the end of our session. Thank you so much for joining us at the table. Welcome to our new followers and our raiders. We are so glad you're coming along for the ride. To our subscribers and donors, thank you for funding these adventures so we never run out of healing potions and places to hide crowns. And to make sure you never miss a moment, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Tales from the Catacombs, where all of our sessions are saved for posterity. And lastly, a particularly huge thanks to my players, David, who plays Beau and streams on Twitch under You Hate to See It, Catherine, who plays Ste'yn and dabbles in her various geek circles on Twitter and Instagram under A Catholic Geek, Kassie, who plays Viola and can be found on Instagram at Coffee, Koffeeh, when her power is on, and Josh, who plays Snow, and you can wave to him when you find him right here with us. I'm Brenna, I'm your storyteller for this adventure, and we'll see you back here next time. Safe travels till we meet again.